Welcome, everyone, to the 10th episode of Decoding the Profiles in Power, powered by West Ferry Times, where we delve into the lives of some of the most influential leaders of our time. Today, we turn the spotlight on a figure whose rise to the presidency shattered barriers and forever altered the course of American history.
Yes, that's right. Today, we're exploring the extraordinary journey of Barack Obama, a man who went from humble beginnings to become the 44th president of the United States. His journey wasn't just political. It was deeply personal, inspiring, and, at times, controversial. He didn't just win an election, he won the hearts and minds of millions around the globe.
Barack Obama's story is one of perseverance, ambition, and hope. He was not the first African American to seek the highest office in the land, but he was the first to actually achieve it. His victory in 2008 was a watershed moment, not just in politics, but in American society.
Indeed, it was. But like any great political figure, Obama's journey was not without challenges. From overcoming early doubts to facing fierce opposition, he navigated a landscape that was sometimes unforgiving. Today, we'll take you through his rise, his leadership, and the legacy he leaves behind.
So, let's dive in and unpack the remarkable journey of Barack Obama, starting with his early life and background. Ready, Alex?
Absolutely, let's explore the roots of his rise to power.
Barack Hussein Obama II was born on August 4, 1961, in Honolulu, Hawaii. His mother, Ann Dunham, was a white American from Kansas, and his father, Barack Obama Sr., was a Kenyan economist. Growing up in a multicultural environment, Obama was exposed to different worlds from the very beginning.
That's right, it's fascinating how Obama's identity was shaped by his diverse background. He often spoke about his struggles with his biracial identity, having to reconcile the different aspects of his heritage. Hawaii, with its melting pot culture, provided the backdrop for much of his early life.
Obama's parents divorced when he was just 2 years old, and he was raised primarily by his mother and maternal grandparents. Despite the challenges, his mother instilled in him a sense of purpose and a deep understanding of the importance of education. It was his mother's unwavering belief in his potential that served as a constant source of support.
Growing up, Obama was no stranger to feeling out of place. His father returned to Kenya when Obama was young, and Obama later recalled feeling a sense of longing for a connection with him. Despite this, Obama excelled academically and was a standout student throughout his childhood and teenage years.
In his teenage years, Obama attended the prestigious Punahou School in Honolulu. It was here that he began to embrace his academic talents and sense of leadership. However, he also struggled with feeling disconnected from his peers due to his racial identity, often describing his teenage years as a period of searching for who he was.
But it was in this period of struggle that Obama began to cultivate the intellectual curiosity and sense of empathy that would serve him well later in life. After graduating from high school, he went on to study at Occidental College in Los Angeles before transferring to Columbia University in New York City, where he graduated with a degree in political science.
After college, Obama's journey took him to Chicago, where he worked as a community organizer. His work in some of Chicago's most disadvantaged neighborhoods marked the beginning of his career in public service. He worked with residents to address issues like poor housing and inadequate education, showing early on that his focus was on giving a voice to the voiceless.
And what's fascinating is that it was in Chicago that Obama began to see how politics could bring real change. His experiences as a community organizer helped him realize that meaningful change often comes from the ground up, and it solidified his desire to pursue law and ultimately politics.
Obama enrolled in Harvard Law School, where he made history as the first black president of the prestigious Harvard Law Review. This was a major accomplishment, especially considering the competitive nature of Harvard Law and the history it represented. It was clear by this point that Obama was destined for something big.
That's right. After law school, Obama returned to Chicago, where he worked as a civil rights lawyer and later taught constitutional law at the University of Chicago Law School. However, his ambitions were always larger than law or academia. He was drawn to the world of politics, and in 1996, he decided to run for the Illinois State Senate.
Obama's path to the Illinois State Senate was not easy. He faced tough competition, and he had to fight to make a name for himself in the political arena. But his charisma, intellect, and ability to connect with people propelled him forward. He won the seat in 1996 and thus began his journey in public office.
But it wasn't until 2004 that Obama truly caught the national spotlight. In a memorable speech at the Democratic National Convention, Obama delivered a powerful message of unity and hope. His rhetoric resonated with millions, and soon after, he was running for the U.S. Senate.
By 2004, Obama was already becoming a household name. His speech at the Democratic National Convention was a defining moment in his career. It wasn't just the message of hope that caught attention, it was the way he delivered it. Articulate, genuine, and inspiring.
The speech at the DNC propelled Obama into the national spotlight. From there, he quickly gained traction in his campaign for U.S. Senate, which he won in 2004. His victory marked the start of a meteoric rise, and it wasn't long before people began talking about him as a potential future president.
His campaign for the Senate was groundbreaking for several reasons. He was relatively unknown at the national level when he began his run, and yet he quickly built a broad coalition of support, from young voters to African Americans to progressives. His ability to connect with people of all walks of life was evident early on.
Obama's success in the Senate was just the beginning. By 2007, he had decided to run for president. What set him apart from other candidates in the Democratic field was his message of change and his ability to inspire hope. His slogan, "Yes, we can," became a rallying cry for millions of Americans who were dissatisfied with the status quo.
But Obama's campaign was not without its challenges. His opponents, including Hillary Clinton, had more experience, and they didn't hesitate to point out his relatively short political career. But despite these challenges, Obama's message resonated with a wide array of voters, especially younger people and those disillusioned with politics as usual.
And we all remember how the 2008 election played out. After a hard-fought primary, Obama defeated Clinton and became the Democratic nominee. His general election campaign against John McCain was a showcase of optimism, energy, and promise. He promised change, and voters were eager to see it.
In 2008, Barack Obama made history by becoming the first African-American president of the United States. His victory was a landmark moment in American history, symbolizing the progress the country had made in overcoming racial barriers. His election was not just a political win, it was a cultural one.
Obama's victory was, of course, made possible by his overwhelming support from diverse groups, including African Americans, Latinos, young voters, and women. His message of hope and change resonated strongly with voters who were ready for a new direction, especially in the wake of the global financial crisis.
Obama took office during one of the most challenging times in modern American history. The country was mired in a financial crisis, with millions losing jobs and homes. His presidency began with a deep focus on economic recovery. The stimulus package passed early in his first term was a key part of his effort to turn the economy around.
And let's not forget about Obama's signature healthcare reform, the Affordable Care Act, often referred to as Obamacare. This was a landmark achievement in American politics, aiming to provide healthcare to millions of uninsured Americans. It was a deeply polarizing issue, but it ultimately solidified Obama's legacy as a transformative leader.
The Obama presidency also saw the successful operation that led to the death of Osama bin Laden, the mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks. This was a pivotal moment in his first term, and it reinforced his image as a leader committed to protecting American interests and national security.
Despite his many achievements, Obama's presidency was not without its critics. Some argued that his policies, particularly the Affordable Care Act, did not go far enough in addressing systemic issues. Others criticized his handling of foreign policy, especially in regions like the Middle East.
That's right, the Obama administration faced significant opposition, especially from conservatives. The GOP famously opposed much of his agenda, and there were significant debates around issues like immigration, military intervention, and the handling of the economy.
And yet, despite these criticisms, Obama's legacy is one that is respected by many. His presidency marked a shift in how America viewed race, politics, and leadership. He became a symbol of hope for many, especially younger generations, and he leaves behind a legacy of change that will be debated for years to come.
So as we wrap up this episode on Barack Obama, we are reminded of the incredible journey this man has had, from his humble beginnings in Hawaii to becoming the first African-American president of the United States. His life and career are a testament to perseverance, hope, and the transformative power of politics.
Indeed, Obama's story is one that defied the odds. His presidency was marked by moments of triumph, like the passing of the Affordable Care Act and the killing of Osama bin Laden, but also by moments of deep division, particularly in the political landscape. Yet, through it all, he remained a figure of resilience.
What made Obama stand out wasn't just his policies, but his ability to inspire. Whether through his speeches or his actions, Obama made people believe that change was possible, that a nation so divided could come together. His "Yes, we can" slogan resonated with millions, inspiring hope even in the most difficult times.
However, no legacy is without its flaws. Obama faced harsh criticism, particularly for his handling of foreign policy, the pace of economic recovery, and the struggles of Obamacare. But despite the criticism, his influence on American politics and culture remains undeniable. His presidency set the stage for many changes in the nation, particularly in how race and leadership are perceived.
Obama left office in 2017 with a mixed but significant legacy. While some saw him as a transformative leader who pushed for progress in healthcare, civil rights, and foreign relations, others viewed him as a president who didn't deliver enough on promises made during his historic campaign. But as time goes on, his contributions to American society and global diplomacy will continue to be evaluated.
In conclusion, Barack Obama's impact on both the U.S. and the world is still being felt today. His presidency was a turning point in many ways, and while opinions may differ on his successes and shortcomings, there is no denying that he was a leader who shaped the course of history.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to join us next time as we dive deeper into the stories that shaped our world. Until then, stay curious and take care.
Absolutely. And don't forget to stay tuned with West Fairy Times. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and share it with your friends and family. Let's keep the conversation going.